Okay, so continuing off our idea of average rate of change of a function over the given interval, we're going to try the slightly harder problem, as we can see by this graph. And we just want to find out, again, this is just the slope of the secant line connecting those 2 points, -2 and -3 over 2. And so those 2 points, -2 is around right there. The -3 over 2 is around right there. So we're seeing, just looking at the graph, it should be a number pretty close to 0. The slope is relatively flat. And so first thing is you want to remember f of b minus f of a over b minus a. This is a very important function. You're going to use it a lot in math, whatever course you're taking. Anything after algebra has a lot of this function. It's very important. But now we just want to find out what those values are. So f of b is going to be f of negative 3 over 2, and then f of a is f of negative 2. And again, we're just plugging it in. So let's plug in the 3 over 2. Negative 3 over 2, right? Minus 3. And we're just going to try to find a similar denominator. And ignore the numerator in this case. But looking at just the -3 over 2 minus 3, we just want to get the 3 to be in the same denominator as the 3 over 2. So we want it to have a 2. So the basic idea is what could be at the numerator when you divide it by 2 and you still get 3. So you should be able to figure out pretty easily that you're going to end up with this. And now you're just going to subtract that -3 minus 6 is -9. And then the 2, you don't really subtract that since it's a fraction. And that's what you're going to get in the numerator. So this is going to be 1 over -9 over 2. And that's just the reciprocal. So that's just going to be 2 over 9, -2 over 9. And so that's your f of -3 over 2. For f of -2, it's a little bit easier since you don't have the fraction, but 1 over -2 minus 3 equals, just do that in your head, -1 over 5. And so now we have our y coordinates, and we can pretty much just plug this in. So just rewriting it. You have to remember those parentheses and to flip the signs when you have a double negative that becomes a positive. It's a common mistake, really. Oops. And then minus -2. So I just want to rewrite this to, again, get those double negatives out. It's going to be plus 1 over 5, and then this is going to be -3 over 2 plus 2. I feel like the denominator is a lot easier to do because there's a lot less simplifying. 2 you could rewrite as 4 over 2, and so you're going to get -3 over 2 plus 4 over 2, which is 1 over 2. And then the numerator, we're going to want to find that common denominator. And the easiest thing to do here is just multiply 9 by 5. And so we're going to get 45 for our denominators of those fractions, right? And then the numerator, you're just going to be multiplying it by whatever you're multiplying the denominator by. So to get 45 with 9, I have to multiply by 5. And so I have to also multiply the numerator by 5. So that you're going to get -10. And then same thing on the other side, multiply both sides by both numerator and denominator by 9. And you're going to get -1 over 45 for the total thing. Now it just comes to simplifying that. And same trick I used last lesson. You want to copy down the numerator and multiply it by the reciprocant of the denominator. And this is very simple. This is your answer. It's as simplified as it can be. And that's the average rate of change of this function over that given interval.